Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. What we have before you are 2 plates of. So this looks like sausage gravy. It is not. This is creamed beef, or otherwise known as its more endearing name, on a shingle. So I believe this is a military style food, something I grew up eating because my mom knew how to make it. I'm not sure how accurate this is to like an authentic cream beef, or better known by its abbreviation, the SOS. I think I got pretty close. Now the only mistake I made was this isn't as kind of like smooth and silky as cream beef should be, or at least the one I grew up eating. This is a little bit thicker, but that's okay because you know what? I like my sausage gravy or cream beef as thick as like a DQ blizzard. Like when you turn that junk upside down, I don't want to see it fall. Okay, all right, maybe an exaggeration, but cream beef I know is supposed to be a little bit more watery, and as a result, I over toasted and over baked the biscuits and the toast because it was supposed to soak up all that juice, but I messed up. So it's gonna be a little bit, different textures in here. It's gonna be a little bit crunchy, which, man, again, I really enjoy. Right? I don't think I've ever eaten it this way too. Right, where the cream beef is this thick. Now, as you may notice, there's more of like a caramel amber color to the gravy. That's because I use my mom's secret ingredient, A1 steak sauce, or the off-brand of A1 steak sauce, because that is expensive now. It's like $6 for a bottle. So was Tabasco. So I'm using Texas Pete again. This is what I just have at home. Tabasco, it was like $8 for the like medium-sized bottle, and I was like, forget it. No reason to spend extra on the name brand when the off-brand will do just fine. All right, but guys, I am starving. I was craving this. You know what? I'll talk as I eat. Let's just get into it. Cheers. Oh man, I'm so excited for this. I don't know if you guys can see how thick this gravy is right now. Look at that. DQ Blizzard. Don't let it drip. Mm. Oh man. Am I not talking this video, guys? Reason for that reaction is I don't think I've had this ever since I moved out around 18. So it's been at least a decade since I've had this, or at least the way my mom made it. And I know if I had my mom's, like, this would be 10 times better. But man, I was just thinking about this the other day, and I'm so glad I took the time to make it. Maybe I should have filmed the cooking process, but kind of lazy trying to gather all the different angles. I'll do it for a future video. It's the same exact process as like sausage gravy, except instead of using sausage, this is ground beef. The whole cooking process and all the other ingredients are exactly the same, except for the A1 steak sauce, right? So, like it's fry up the ground beef, drain some of the oil, unless you're using like a 90-10 ground beef, where it won't produce as much oil. That's fine. Then you sprinkle a little bit of flour in the ground beef, right? Make sure there's no clumps. Let it soak up that residual oil. And then you pour in the milk or cream. I just use whole milk. Then you just let it slowly reduce down while like putting a crap ton of pepper, a good bit of salt, right? And that's it. And I just put A1 steak sauce towards the end, and then just kind of like put as much as, according to taste. Now, traditionally as well, at the Lee household, we also use toast. Half the time because we just didn't have biscuits, when we were craving it one morning. So we would just use toast. Kind of like when you're craving a hot dog, but you don't have hot dog buns. But then you have a loaf of bread, so you just wrap the hot dog in like a slice of bread. Same thing. And it's not like it's a downgrade, right? Sometimes you just crave. You just crave using toast instead. And it's been so long since I've had it. Put a little bit of the steak sauce. I don't know if this looks appetizing to you guys. I mean, it does to me just because I know how it tastes and I just love it. But, man, you just can't go wrong with, like, biscuits and gravy, right? I rarely ever pass up the opportunity to get biscuits and gravy, unless I know the place isn't good or it's too expensive. Because some places like to charge a whole, but like $10 for like 2 biscuits and gravy. Speaking of which, went to Waffle House not too long ago. And I saw biscuits and gravy on the menu. It was expensive, man. It was like $5 for like 1 biscuit and just a little bit of gravy on it. And again, Waffle House has been getting pretty expensive. Which is a dang shame. Guys, I think I like the toast better. And I think that's just because I messed up on the cream beef, so it's not as loose as it should be. So the toast is absorbing it a lot more than biscuits are. I mean, I won't lie. These biscuits have been nuked to all hell, which is typically how I like to eat it with the cream beef. If you guys are in the military, though, I don't think they serve this anymore, right? But I love that name, though, SOS. It just might have been one of those old school things where maybe you're out in the field doing some field training or whatever, and this is what you're given. Or, I mean, not in the field, because I guess you need a MRE at that point, but... And for the longest time, I just accepted it for what it was, like the name, without ever really thinking, like, why it was called that. It makes sense because I think they used toast back then. So your toast is a shingle. Then, of course, the gravy is the crap that goes on top of it. Names never bothered me. I remember a good friend of mine came over to have this. Or he slept over. This was when we were back in high school. Woke up the next morning, my mom made this, right? And yeah, I was telling him the story of like what it's called and why it was called that. And he was like, blah, blah, blah. And then he looked at it and it's like, he thought it looked gross too because it doesn't look like typical sausage gravy. Or at least the way we make it, right? I don't know if steak sauce is a traditional thing. But after that day, man, he would ask for this. For every time we wake up. Say, hey, dude, we're getting some SOS today? Nine times out of 10, though, it'd be a Korean-style breakfast. And occasionally, I would say I would have cream beef like 3-4 times a year. Up until I moved out. It just wasn't a... My mom can enjoy and appreciate American style food, but it's not something that she would prefer to eat. Here's the thing with Koreans, right? Now, obviously, most Koreans that you meet, at least my parents' generation, right? But if you ask any millennial, anyways, well, if you ask any Korean, you would know that a lot of times their family, their parents, or maybe even themselves, they would eat Korean food like very often. Like even if they don't go out to eat, and then when they do go out to eat on a rare occasion, it would be at a Korean restaurant. And it's like, dude, don't we eat this at home? I mean, I still wouldn't complain because it'd be great. And a lot of times, I mean, we'd be eating food that we wouldn't have too often at home. And I understand the sentiment behind it because a lot of Korean dishes are very labor intensive, right? I mean, when you maybe not the main meal itself, right? Like when you're talking about some kind of soup or stew, right? Like kimchi jjigae, doenjang jjigae. A lot of that's relatively easy to make. You just throw everything in a pot. What's difficult though, and if you guys have been to a Korean restaurant, you guys know this. They'll give you what's called panchan, which is like these side dishes. And you do have like 10, 12 little like plates of like side dishes, pickled vegetables, whatever it may be, some kind of meat to go with your main course, right? And they're free. Like if you guys don't know, you guys can ask for refills on those those side dishes. So if you go to a Korean restaurant, let's say you really like the kimchi or whatever it may be, call the waitress over, waiter, waitress, have them refill it. It comes included with the meal. Anyways, I say all this because the main side dish, the main course meal, a lot of times is not that hard. It's the side dishes, and I mean, can you imagine you're making 10 different dishes to go for your one meal? So what you'll see a lot of Koreans do is when they make panchan, they will make a huge freaking bowl of it, right? A huge portion of it to store in the fridge. Then every time you eat, you just take out whatever panchan you want to eat and you eat it. You'll put it into a smaller dish. So I say all that because I didn't appreciate it as a little kid growing up. Because I'd be like, oh, we're going to a Korean restaurant again. And I used to be like, Mom, you can just make this at home. But seriously, that's why a lot of Koreans like going out to eat, because they don't have to constantly make all those, you know. So I appreciate it now. I underestimated how hungry I was. I think I just spent too long talking to you guys. This was like 7 biscuits or 8 biscuits that were split in half to fill this whole plate. The biscuits I didn't make at all. You know, it's Pillsbury. You guys will know soon enough that I don't know how to cook. I'm too lazy to cook, but I think I'll only finish half of that. This is a heavy meal. I will say though, the more authentic way of eating SOS with the toast. Excellent. I kind of forgot how good this was over the biscuit. Also, it's kind of like you know, sometimes you just crave that cheap pizza. Obviously, you would take a New York style like authentic slice of pizza over something that was frozen, like DiGiorno's or whatever. But rarely you will get that craving, right? For some like high school style pizza, like the square pizzas that you would get in high school. That's what this is doing for me right now. Oh, I am getting full though. This hit that craving for me, but I think after today, I'm not gonna want to eat this for another while. I overindulged. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see me eat. I was planning on making some kind of Korean food, but I've been too lazy to go to the local Asian market. And by local, I mean it's about an hour away. Korean market. You know, last time I went to, I don't know if this is like a global franchise, but the Asian market that we have that I typically frequent is called H Mart, and it's one of the main ones here in Georgia, and or Korean. It's mainly a Korean market, but you have other countries in there. Anyways, I've been seeing a lot more Americans frequent that store, and which was a really nice surprise. But it just made me think about like how a lot of my other American friends when I was growing up, they didn't know how to navigate the store. It was just this new like experience for them. Which for me growing up was kind of funny because I was like, this is what I grew up with. It's like I knew like all the aisles like the back of my hand. I mention this because if you guys are ever, excuse me, if you guys are ever nervous about entering an Asian market, like maybe back then there was reason to be nervous because a lot of the ingredients were like raw ingredients, and like everything. Like if you weren't exposed to that kind of cuisine, like you wouldn't even know what to do, right? But nowadays, like especially at this H Mart, they sell like ready to eat, or not ready. I'm sorry, they sell frozen dishes, right? That you could just like it will give you instructions on how to make it, so you can eat like, especially with like tteokbokki, which is a spicy rice cake. I'm sure if you guys seen online or whatever in Korean dramas, it's like those little rectangular rice cakes in like a deep red spicy sauce or broth. But yeah, I mean they sell like an entire package of it, and it just tells you how to make it, and it includes all the individual ingredients, which I thought was so cool. And they do that with the other more famous and common Korean dishes as well. So I was like, man, that's real cool. Like I haven't tried it yet because for me at least it's kind of like I get into this mindset where it's like if I can spend $12, $15 buying this frozen thing when I already know how to make it, I might as well just buy the individual ingredients and make it myself for a quarter of the price or a fraction of the price. But again, that's just laziness also because I'm too lazy to make it at home. I'm done. I am out of commission. This was fantastic. This really hit that sweet spot for me, because I haven't had sausage gravy and I haven't had gravy and biscuits in a while either. Like I said, I saw it at Waffle House, and I guess ever since then I was just kind of like it's been stuck in my head. I'm like, man, I'm craving some gravy and biscuits, but I just recently thought of this because my brother mentioned it for a video idea too. So I was like, oh yeah, this will be good. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Seriously, leave down in the comments below what you guys want to see me eat. Throw some suggestions down there. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.